Hey guys, Kalila here and welcome to another video. I have been wanting to talk about this since like December, but I didn't actually have a list compiled, so I compiled a list like last week, earlier this week, maybe last week. And they are 12, no, I had 12 and I added 2 more. 14 different colorwork and textured sweaters that I want to do for this year of 2024. Okay, so textures mean like cables and trellis and all of that colorwork, you know, stranded, Fair Isle, all of those names. That's what I want to do this year, because last year it was all about learning different techniques. Was last year when I learned German short rows? Or was it the year before? Last year was me learning different techniques and everything, and now this year is me learning different textures and colors and all of that, because to me, that's gonna be the difficult thing. And it's like the next step in my creativity level. Like I need to do that to up my knitting. I don't know how to say it. My knitting levels, my knitting expertise. I feel like that's the next step for me. So I have a whole list. For this, I have yarn for 6 out of the 14. And then the rest are just ones that I have planned. I don't have yarn for it yet, but they're mainly going to be like in a later half of the year type of thing, because I really want to work through the yarn that I already have in my stash. But these are mainly the sweaters that I really want to knit this year into next year. I'm thinking it will go into next year, because these are 14 sweaters here. I still have other sweaters, like stockinette sweaters, that I still want to knit in between. So we may not hit all of these, but it's fine. I want to hit at least half of them. Okay, the first sweater is the Colorwork sweater that I'll be doing for Woly Knitwear. It's a test knit on her sweater. I'll put up a picture here. There is no name for it. I have no clue what it will be called, but I just call it the Colorwork sweater by Woly Knitwear. It's literally just like a 1-to-1 colorwork, so you're using a different color for each stitch, which I feel like is a great introduction to colorwork, because I don't have to catch any floats. I don't have to worry about, oh, switch your yarn at this time, nothing. Literally simple, raglan, nice color work, beginner friendly. I don't think it has German short rows or anything, so it's like, oh, perfect. And my plan is to not take on a lot of test knits this year like I did last year, because last year was my first time I ever test knitted, and I just went crazy, and I was like, whoo, okay, chill. So if you see me test knitting, it's most likely going to be for Maria, because I just love her stuff, and every single time I knit her sweaters or knit anything that I've tested for her, I am learning a new technique every single time. And this time it's colorwork, and I have not done colorwork before. So her pattern is going to be my first ever colorwork sweater, and I chose a red color, like a rusty color, and a white color, because I wanted the contrast to be very like deep, like a very high contrast kind of thing, and I feel like it looks so good. I think everything looks good that I make, so it doesn't matter. The second textured sweater, so the first one was colorwork, the second sweater that I'll be doing this year is a textured sweater, and it's my own design. It is my enchanting sweater, and it is a cable knit raglan sweater, and it has hearts going down the front. More hearts will bloom on the sides here as the yoke continues to grow. Oh, the yarn that I'll be using for the colorwork sweater for Maria Woly Knitwear will be Alpaca 3 with Isagra mohair. Yes. And this one is Drops mohair with Woolly Knit paired together. I love this combination. Like, I cannot believe this made this. This looks amazing. I'm in love. This is something that I'll be working on like March time, probably. Late March, probably into April, who knows? This is definitely going to be a summer test knit, I'll tell you that. So whoever loves knitting sweaters in the summer, get ready. Because that's me. I love knitting sweaters in the summer. So that is the other, or the next textured sweater that I'll be doing, because it's going to be, this is in an order of how I'm going to be knitting these, kind of, at least for the first few, for the first two, maybe? For the first two for sure, because the Colorwork sweater, the test knit's going to happen fairly soon. Ooh, almost fell over. And then my enchanting sweater is going to happen next month. So the next sweater that I want to do is a cable sweater, and it is the Wishbone sweater by Kopy. This is a sweater that I have had on my mind. So I'm just gonna scoot here so I always have the picture here. I was gonna say it's a picture. It's a pattern that I've had on my mind for like 2 years now, and has it been 2 years? I got the original yarn in 2022, so year and a half. This year, later, will make 2 years. And I got Cumbria yarn by the Fiber Co. I first got it to make a slipover, one of Petite Knit's slipovers, one of her texture slipovers. I literally cannot remember the name right now. And then I was like, no, this yarn is a blend of Masham wool, merino wool, and mohair. And I was like, no, it's too luxurious to just be a slipover. I need it to be a sweater. And I only have 4 skeins, so I knew I would not have enough for a sweater. It's a worsted weight yarn. 4 skeins is not enough. So when I went back to Sweden last year, I got more from the store I got it from, 60 Nord. And I was like, yeah, I need to get more. So I think I have like 10 or 12 of these total, which is definitely enough to make a sweater out of. And I wanted a neutral color for the Wishbone sweater because I love the original color. It's like a purpley grayish looking color, and I was like, oh my gosh, let me make this out of gray. Imagine how beautiful. It's a twisted rib cable. Like, oh, that is beautiful. That is going to be so good, and this is so soft. Oh my gosh, I'm in love. But yeah, so this is gonna be the Wishbone sweater. Oh my gosh, I should not have rubbed that on my face. Now I have a yarn all over my lips. Let's toss that over there. Okay, the next sweater is the Arctic Light sweater by Kopy as well, which is another sweater that I have been like literally obsessed with. And for this project, I got Filcolana Pernilla and Tilia to combine together. And this as well, I was like, maybe I want to make a bigger size. So when I got this when I first went to Sweden, 2022, and when I came back, when I went back last year, I was like, let me get more so that I could have enough if I wanted to make an oversized version of this. And it is such a great combo. And I don't have a yellow sweater. No, I do not have a pure yellow sweater, and I think doing that texture will be so pretty. Ah! Oh my gosh. Yes. Okay, the next sweater is actually a Colorwork sweater. When I saw this on my timeline, I was like, oh my gosh, I need that. I need it. This is the Saski jumper by the Petite Knitter, not Petite Knit, the Petite Knitter, who literally like lives and breathes Colorwork, okay? And her patterns are so beautiful. It's called the Saski jumper because she has a bunny named Saski, and so she made Colorwork bunnies. She did that. Yeah, absolutely beautiful. So the yarns that I'll be using are these. I know, crazy, right? Bright pink. What? So I got an email. I'm subscribed to Woly Knit's email thingy, when you subscribe to a newsletter. There we go. And Woly Knit was like 50% off. Blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh. Yes. So I bought. I love Woly Knit, okay? So I bought their 4-ply 100% merino wool. It's super washed because it says machine washable. It's a fingering weight yarn. This is what it looks like, but it does not feel like super wash. Like, compared to this. This is Drops Baby Merino, and it's super wash as well. And this, it feels like superwash. This feels almost, it's very soft, but it feels like non-superwash merino. And let me hide. This is what I got. This is actually a sport weight yarn, but it works up like it's fingering. So let me see. Yeah, it's actually thinner, I believe. Yeah, gauge-wise, because this is no, it's not. This is 24 by 32, and this is 26 by 34. So, oh. Okay. It has less yardage. All right, I stand corrected, okay? But it still works up like it's a fingering weight yarn because I used this for my anchor sweater. I used 2 strands, and it literally made a DK weight, so. Anyway, this yarn, this is going to be the main color. So in her picture, you can see that her main color is brown, and then the Colorwork section is the white color or the cream color. Pretend this is brown. This will be the main color, and this will be the Colorwork Bunnies section. And I think this is going to be the sweetest looking sweater. Like, it's going to be so feminine and cute, and usually I'm not into like hyper feminine cutesy stuff, but for this I think this will be so amazing. So amazing. It's gonna look beautiful. Very beautiful. But yeah, so Woly Knit and Drops, and I was like, let me combine it together. And I would prefer the Colorwork section to have a thicker yarn. It's not thicker. It's not thicker. It's not. No one can convince me that it is. Okay, the next sweater that I want to work on is the Season sweater by Ullin Knitwear. Just Season, not Seasons. The Season sweater by Ullin Knitwear. It is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful cable knit sweater. Have I knit a full cable knit sweater before? No. Because the first time I did cables was for the Mamba sweater, which is also by Maria. That's when I test knitted her stuff, and I learned cables for the first time knitting that sweater. Amazing. My goal was always to knit the sweater number 15 by My Favorite Things Knitwear, and if you guys know, you know. Everybody has knitted that, I swear. It's a cable knit sweater. But the way this one looks, do I know if I have enough yarn for this? No. But the yarns that were used for this sweater are Tvinny by Isager and Isager Silk Mohair. I got these when I was in Sweden in 2022, and I have 2 skeins of this. One skein is 510 meters. So I have 1,020 meters for this, and I have 5 skeins of this. And the sweater is 1 strand of Tvinny and 2 strands of mohair. Do I know if I'll have enough mohair? No, I don't know. Am I still going to knit this sweater? Absolutely. I will literally crop it if I have to, but I'm going to do this sweater. Listen, it has to be done. It has to be done, all right? And I was talking to Alex from Alexandra's Gone, and she was saying that I definitely, because I was like, I can do size 1, which will probably be my size anyway, because it has a lot of ease. I can do size, whoa! The sun just like got covered or something. Anyway, I can do size 1. And I can use 2 skeins of this. And I need to figure out how many of the mohairs she used, because if I know that she used a certain amount, then I know for a fact that I'll have enough. I don't care if I don't have enough. I'm still going to knit the sweater. So this is the combination. Tvini is 100% pure new wool. Oh, I thought my camera cut off. Pure new wool. And it is very much so a rustic seeming yarn. It's so nice. Oh gosh. The smell of wool, let me not get into it. I love the smell of wool. Okay, so that's the next textured sweater that I want to do 1000%. My camera is gonna cut off soon. But the next sweater, okay, sun. Dude, the sun just like knocked me out. Anyway, the next sweater that I want to do is the Rue sweater by the Crea Bea. Dude, so Kahila and I have always planned to do the Care sweater by the Crea Bea. We're like, that's gonna be our first Colorwork sweater. Blah, blah, blah. But now we're both gonna test knit the Colorwork sweater by Wool Knitwear, so forget that, right? Oh my gosh. Whoa. Oh gosh. Okay. But the Care sweater is still on the list. But then she recently came out with the Rue sweater. I went feral for this sweater, okay? And I was looking through my stash. I was like, dang, I don't even have yarn for this sweater, and I really want to knit this sweater. Because I'm like, I don't want to buy yarn for it because I have other sweater quantities in my stash that need to be used. I'm like, okay, fine. You know, let me just look through my stash. Let me just look. I looked through my stash. I have woolly knit cones. What triggered it was Rebecca. I was watching Rebecca's podcast, and she said some of her testers were using this yarn, that yarn. Some used 2 strands of woolly knit. I was like, I have woolly knit. So I looked through my stash, and I was like, these colors aren't like, the contrast isn't there for me because I'm a high contrast girly. I know just from looking at Colorwork that I want everything to be high contrast. I don't like low contrast. Because if I'm going to do Colorwork, I'm going to need you to look like I need people to see the picture on the work, you know? So I was like, I don't like these colors together. I went to look at Kahila's stash. Firstly, I found this cone, which is Holst Super Soft, that I gave her. This was originally my cone. I gave her this cone to do the test knit for the Stick Season sweater by the Crea Bea, Rebecca. And this is how much was left over. And I was like, oh, nice. This could be used for something. And then, so I was like, perfect. I could use this as a contrast color. Because the Rue sweater is done with the main color, and then the contrast color kind of just like finishes it off, I believe. Hold on. Let me make sure I'm thinking of the right thing when it comes to this sweater. Yeah, the contrast color kind of just finishes it off. Okay, I thought so. I was like, am I tripping? But no. I was thinking of the sweater that, oh my gosh, the sweater that, oh my gosh, what's her name? Hold on, I'm sorry, I gotta look up this again. Okay, that Kimchi & Co. did. And she did not use the contrast color to finish off the sweater. She used the main color to finish off the sweater, which I like a lot. I like that. Will I do it that way? I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it looks. But hers looks like this. and she didn't add any extra stockinette underneath it, and then she didn't do the full color work on the sleeves. This looks so good. Anyway, I saw this and I was like, oh, I need another one. And then I saw this. This is Woly knit, and it has some neps on it, some tweedy bits on it. And this was actually on one of her projects, on her Cumulus tee that she was going to turn into a dress. And I was like, dang, this would be such a good color. She's like, oh, I'm frogging that. Oh my gosh, those were the best words I ever heard in my life. I was like, yes! So, this is going to be the main color. This is going to be the contrast color. It's going to look so good. It's going to look so freaking good. Like, the little neps in here match this. It's just, oh, imagine like the dark upper body with the color work in between, and then finish off with this, with the rest of the body and the sleeves. Yes. Absolutely. Yes. 100% yes. So freaking good. I think those are all of the sweaters that I have yarn for right now. So those will be prioritized 100% because I'll be able to make them immediately and use up a lot of yarn from my stash. So the next sweater that I want to do, I already talked about it a little bit, is the Care sweater by the Crayabea. It is just a nice, simple colorwork sweater, and I was just like, I believe I can do that. And now that I have looked through so many charts, like I read through patterns before I knit them up, just so I can see what would confuse me, what I need to research more to understand, yada yada. And then I'll look at the charts and I'm like, yeah, I understand this. Okay, the next sweater that I want to knit up is the Halibut sweater by Caitlin Hunter. Do I know what yarn I want to use for that? No. I was thinking that I would want to maybe copy the colors that she used, or maybe I want to do like a navy blue, or like a reddish, darkish color, or maybe a forest green with the cream fish color. I don't know. I'm not sure, but I just know I want to knit the sweater. It's art. It's so beautiful, and I think it will look amazing with any color like any color combo, but keep the creamish white contrast. Yes. The next sweater that I want to knit, I wanted to knit it because Alexandra was doing it, and then she kind of shrank it on accident, and I'm like, oh, my heart. But it's the Lume pullover. So beautiful. It seems very easy to do. All of these I have the pattern for already. So all of these are just ready for me to get yarn and knit it up. The next sweater is the Moonflower pullover. What the heck is that? I wrote this last week, okay? So I have no clue what this is. Oh, okay. The Moonflower pullover is a textured sweater by Sari Nordland. The Lume pullover is also by Sari Nordland, by the way. But yes, the Moonflower pullover, it looks so difficult, but I'm like, if somebody did it, I can do it too. Like, I don't care how difficult it may seem, it's possible to do, and I will be able to do that. Will I do it anytime soon? Absolutely not, because my brain seems like it will literally fry from it, okay? The next one is the Stitches sweater by Kutavakika. I have been eyeballing this sweater since last year. Was it last year when she showed it? I don't know, but I'm like, oh my gosh, she needs to put out the pattern like now. But it took her a while to grade it because she said it was a little difficult to grade for different sizes, whatever. But finally, the test knit is here, okay? I've signed up for her test knits, so I get the emails whenever she's calling for testers, and Alex is actually test knitting it. So I'm able to actually see what's happening and know that, like, oh, it's gonna be coming out soon, probably late February. No. Yes. Which is exciting. But it's exciting seeing her test knit it, and it's exciting to know that a sweater that I have been eyeing for a year now is going to be released. I don't know what yarn I'll be using for it. That's not something I planned, and it's not something I'm gonna do anytime soon either. Like, a lot of these that are toward the ending of this list, I'm not really going to be doing or focusing on, but it's something that I know that I really do want to do. But yeah, the Stitches sweater by Kopy. Now, the next sweater that I want to do is something that I found because I was on TikTok and I was just scrolling, and there's this guy who's wearing like vintage Ralph Lauren and everything. I was just like, I could knit that. So then I went searching and I found this vintage pattern from 1976, and it is the iconic cricket sweater, and Ralph Lauren has the iconic cricket sweater. It's a knitted sweater that's just like, ooh, so pretty, pretty, pretty. And it's like what you think of when you think of Ralph Lauren. And I found a pattern for it, a vintage pattern. It's not a Ralph Lauren pattern. It's just a pattern that's like a cricket sweater. So that's something that I want to do. I kind of want to do like a recreation thing on my TikTok. And then the last one is the Esther sweater by Scalpel and Helen Moo. It is a beautiful sweater. I actually need to look at it again because I saw someone knitting this on TikTok and I was like, oh, what is that? Esther. Yes, the Esther sweater. Ooh. I was like, oh my gosh, that is so pretty. Also, another pattern I got by them is the Annie sweater. I guess I can add that to my list. The Annie sweater by Scalpel and Helen Moo. Oops. Those two sweaters, okay, this is a 15 sweater list now. But those two sweaters, I am in love with how eccentric and intricate as well it looks. But I saw someone knitting it, so I was like, oh yeah, totally possible to do for me. And it just seems like it's such a fun thing to knit. And I could probably just like get scraps and knit that and have a good time. Like have a base color. Like let me see. The base color would probably be like a white color. Yeah. Have like a white base color and then just use up some scraps or something. But either way, this is my plan for 2024. Colorwork and textured knits the entire year. Sprinkling some regular stockinette, you know, because I have to have my stockinette. But that's my plan. That's all I have for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. And let me know what your plans are for this year. Are you going to be doing color work? Are you going to be doing texture? Let me know. And I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.